is how I started making a small mobile game and turned it into this really cool game with infinite levels. So first, I had to think of a good idea. I first did some brainstorming and came up with really bad ones. But after spending some time, I came up with a game idea that wasn't so bad, where you have a player spawn in an initial checkpoint and by tapping the screen, the player dashes to the next checkpoint. But it won't be so easy, because there will be some obstacles that will prevent you to go from checkpoint to checkpoint. And if you collide with one of those obstacles, you will die and the game over screen will pop up. But if you dodge every obstacle, you will successfully finish the level. After I finished thinking of an idea, I started making the actual game. So to do that, I just had to open Unity and create a new project. After the project finished loading, I started making the player movement by making this simple prototype, which basically moves the player to this little circle over here when you tap the screen. After I finished making the player movement, I started making the levels. So I first started by making some checkpoints, which is the thing that the player dashes to when he taps the screen. And after making the checkpoint, I started making some other obstacles, like this bike that moves from one place to another, this laser gun that shoots this big laser, or other types of obstacles that you can see right now on screen. Really cool, but the game didn't finish there, because now we had to make the actual levels. And instead of making each level manually, I thought of a much cooler approach. Make a script that automatically generates levels. So this is very simple to make. First, we have to set an initial position, where we spawn the desired obstacle. Then we move the position to the end of the obstacle we just spawned, and we spawn another obstacle. Then we repeat the process a few times, and at the end of it, we spawn an ending obstacle, where we finish the level. So this was really easy to implement, and now we have infinite levels. And by adding a custom seed to each level, we can have everyone have the same levels. But if you look at the game, you will notice that right now it looks very boring. It doesn't look polished at all. Even though I already had some polishing, like these particles or camera shake when you reach the next checkpoint, there wasn't anything too special that made the game appealing to see. So I had to change some things. So I first started by changing the UI, which before that was this very basic one that you can make in 10 minutes or less. So the first course of action for polishing the UI was to change these boring buttons I had to these better looking ones. But the font was very boring as well, so I searched for fonts online and changed all the text font to this better looking one. It looks a lot better, but when a menu pops up, it looks like it has instantly appeared and it doesn't look smooth at all. So to solve that, I had to make the menu have this cool opening animation, which now looks much better. After that, I noticed that the player was just a blank cube that didn't have personality or a good appearance whatsoever. So to solve that, I grabbed a pixel skin I had from a previous game and changed the player skin. So now it has this cool pixel skin instead of a boring cube. Now I have a better skin, but look at the background. You may see that it looks like you are playing on top of the board or something like that. So to solve that, I downloaded some floor textures and imported them to the game to make it look like you're standing somewhere and you aren't floating in the middle of nowhere. So after doing that, we have the game finished. Well, kind of. But if you have an Android phone and you want to play the game, you have a link in the description to try it out.